And welcome to Desynced, episode 8. I didn't forget. Fuck. All right.
He totally forgot.
It's already began.
I was so excited that I didn't forget the episode number, and then I screwed up the next words.
Way to go, a-hole.
My name is Fred, and as always, I got these two assholes.
Steve's
I'm
here.
Skyler. I said it first this time.
All right, well, that rude-ass bitch interrupted me. Hi, I'm Steve. Steve's here.
Hi, I'm Steve. Welcome to the 50s. This is going to be an interesting podcast, I think. No? Maybe not?
Dude, Steve is super excited for this podcast.
There we go. See? Excitement, energy.
Steve
I love
is
it.
excited. I'm so excited. You guys need to talk about your crap so I can talk about my crap. And go.
And scene. So, sorry. Have y'all heard... I watched a movie over the weekend that wasn't supposed to be good and had just some really good stuff in it that blew me away. Have you ever heard of Bad Words?
Yes.
Starring Jason Bateman?
Yes.
No.
Do you know Jason Bateman?
No.
Arrested Development?
Yes.
Horrible boss.
He's
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, is he in that?
Yeah, he's in that.
Oh, okay.
Here, let me IMDb him real quick.
Yeah, it stars Jason Bateman and someone else I can't remember, but she's actually very funny.
It's Bad Words? Sorry.
Bad Words. Yeah, it came out in 2013. This is the dumbest premise for a movie I've ever heard of. So, he's this grown-ass man in his 40s, and he finds a loophole that allows him to enter into a child spelling bee. He finds this whole loophole thing, and he's allowed to go through the national competition in a child spelling bee. And of course, he's an adult, so he just rocks it. Like, he's unstoppable.
This sounds like the best movie ever already.
It is the dumbest premise for a movie, but everything else about this movie is tremendous. From the writing, the cinematography, the style, tone, everything is so well done in this movie. It blows my mind because it's such a stupid movie.
Jason Bateman.
Yeah, that's Jason
that
Bateman.
guy.
Yeah, he was in Horrible Bosses, Zootopia, Juno.
Oh,
all
I
of other
should
stuff.
say we had some technical difficulties and don't have screen capture going. for
Skyler
this
fucked up his
episode.
computer.
I was just going to leave it at technical difficulties.
Technically, work fucked up my computer, I think.
All I gotta
staring at me.
All I gotta do is stare him down.
I don't like when you stare at me.
All I've got to do. Catherine Hahn, that's her name.
Catherine Hahn, yeah.
What has she been in?
She's been in a lot of comedies.
Oh, she was in. Okay, that's who she was. Okay.
Yeah, that.
Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
Anyway, this movie,
Oh, I did see that movie. That was a good movie.
fantastic movie as well. Bad Words is really good. Like, really well done.
Really?
It's just not a very good story. It's the dumbest story I've ever seen, and the whole thing is stupid. But they had this scene where it's supposed to be the revealing scene. He doesn't know who his father is. His father left when he was born, and he never met his father. It was supposed to be the revealing scene. I know, it's stupid. Skyler is looking at me.
He's Darth Vader. I get it.
Yeah. And it was supposed to be the scene where it's revealed. It's like this reporter that he's been seeing and fucking throughout the whole spelling bee
Is
competition.
his sister?
No. But
Oh my god.
it led up to this, like, oh, she's a reporter and she got his background and found out who his father was and she was going to reveal it. And this entire conversation lasts maybe 3 minutes. Not once did they actually say who his father was, but through it communicated who his father was, the fact that he knew his father. I'm going to spoil the movie, sorry. The fact that he knew who his father was the whole time, and that fed into his reasons for doing everything he's done. All of this without ever saying any of it.
That's awesome. I love movies
Which
that
is
do that.
brilliant writing. That's how you should do it. You should show, not tell. And they did that. And there are little scenes like that throughout the whole movie. But it's such a stupid fucking movie.
The story is stupid, but it was well done.
It blew my mind as I was watching. It's like, oh, it was on at like midnight on Comedy Central. I was like, oh, fuck it. I'll just sit and watch this. And then I was glued to it.
It's funny how you discover like really bad movies that way. I think I did the same thing with The Art of Lying, that movie that was the guy who lives in a reality where people don't know how to lie. So everything he says people think is the truth. Really stupid premise for a movie, had a handful of really good scenes like that. Where, for instance, one of them, he just walks up to a lady and says, the world's going to end right now if you don't have sex with me. No one knows what a lie is, so she just agrees. It's a great premise for a joke.
You know what else is a great premise for movies? Resident Evil. But those movies went
Nope.
down the fucking shitter.
It is not a great premise for a movie.
Well,
Why is it okay for a video game, but not okay for a movie?
the first one was good. Here's why it's not okay for a movie. Do you remember the one where they're in the skyscraper, where it's like the plane crash? There is a scene
4.
in that movie. What?
4. It's not a skyscraper. It's a prison.
Prison. Thank you. There's a
Prison
scene in that
skyscraper.
movie where there's just a zombie that walks through the crowd, and every single time I see that movie, I have to just stop, laugh, and go, it's a boss fight. And then it's just an open room with her and that guy in the room, and they just fight for like 5 minutes. The movies are just a goddamn attempt to make the game into a film over and over again, and it doesn't work.
Why it doesn't work, specifically with Resident Evil is a survival horror game. And part of that is feeling like you're in this situation, like you're stuck in the middle of it. A film can't give that to you in the same regard. All you can do in a film is care about the person on screen, but it's not about you. It's not, I'm in the middle of this, I need to survive. It's, she needs to survive. I hope she survives. And Resident Evil just fails to capture that in their characters.
I'd agree. I mean, that's why I'm upset that they have a boss fight in every single movie, because a 10 to 15 minute boss fight in a game is awesome. The longer, the better.
I hate that I can't see Steve because I can't see his reactions to any of this.
20 minutes of watching a boss fight in a movie is brutally agonizing.
Movies.
Yes, movies. Movies are good.
Movies.
I like
Hang
movies.
But yes.
Hang on, I'm thinking about something. Hold on. No, it can't work. Never mind.
Okay.
I was gonna try and pull up OBS and then have my little face cam right there so Fred could see me.
Oh.
That would be amazing.
So here, we'll try it just for shits and giggles. We'll try this.
This is a great experiment. I can't wait.
So
for this to
if
go
this
forward.
actually works out, this could conceivably mean that I will be on podcasts.
Possibly.
Possibly, if this works out.
If this
Come
works.
on, OBS.
If not, then we'll just cut this whole conversation.
Oh,
It's fine.
Shit.
I love how the solution to looking around a monitor is to put a picture of that monitor onto another monitor, so that instead of just moving the original monitor.
It's technology.
Welcome
We
to the
have the
21st century, bitch. All right, I gotta close.
So while he's doing that, I wanted some closing words on bad words.
Okay,
Go ahead. It's cool.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, it's actually, I really recommend seeing it, even though the premise is stupid. Go watch the movie because it's really funny. It's dark, satirical humor. And the whole thing is just riffing on spelling bees and the parents who force their kids through these national spelling bees and stuff like that. And on those child prodigies that there he is, big and
That's terrifying.
Steve.
Hang on, I'll fix it here in a second.
I'm so sad that we don't have capture for this right now. This would be hilarious. But yeah, and it has scenes in it. Some of the cinematography is straight out of like Drive. Did you ever see Drive, Ryan
Yeah.
Gosling?
Great movie.
Fantastic movie, beautifully shot. There was a scene in this. It's set in Denver, or like a town outside of Denver or something. But it had a beautiful shot that you could have sworn was from Chicago or something. It was a Mustang, a white Mustang, at dusk, almost nighttime. The rain had just stopped. The ground was all wet. There was all the beautiful lights. And it's just a slow pan up with the Mustang on top of a hill overlooking the city. It looked like a shot from Drive.
So what I'm hearing is this movie is basically all of the film students who really learned from school and are really the best people in the industry, but never made friends enough to get into big films, went and made this movie.
There was some serious talent. I don't know who actually directed or filmed it, but there is some serious talent behind that film. Let me tell you. Definitely a worth watch. Worth what?
It's worth watching.
Thank you.
There you
That
go.
one. Speaking of movies, is anyone going to go see Star Wars this weekend?
Nope. Don't have time.
Steve is.
I'm gonna try to.
Skyler is.
I'm gonna try to see it on Wednesday.
Well, at least you're going to see it before the next podcast, so we can talk about it.
Yeah.
I'm gonna try to.
It looks so good. I mean, everything I've just been hearing out from about it, without going into spoiler stuff, just sounds amazing. It's every description I hear is it's Star Wars meets Band of Brothers, and I want to see that so bad.
I
Yeah.
have avoided all media whatsoever. I have avoided every review, people talking about it. IGN had a full coverage live stream today. I avoided it.
I've avoided a lot. I've seen a couple reviews and a couple
seen-
interviews with
I hadn't
members
seen
of the cast,
Shit.
but it looks so good.
It does look really good. I'm excited for it.
Damn it!
We had a whole conversation before the podcast about
But
that.
I can't help it.
But
I can't stop.
But
So, All right, we'll move out of movies. Unless y'all had more movies. Do you have more movies? Are you going to surprise me? Are you going to make me happy about you?
I watched Attack of the Killer Tomatoes.
That's 3.
Ding, ding, ding. I haven't been watching any more of The Crown. I've kind of been playing the new game I want to talk about. And then I've also, the only other thing I've been doing is playing the Dawning SRL stuff with you guys.
Yes.
That's all I've really been doing. I haven't really been watching any TV, really.
No, you haven't been playing the SRL. Let me get this straight. You haven't been playing SRL.
Oh my God, here we go.
You've been cheating in SRL.
Oh, here we go. All right.
So this guy, Steve, has beat me twice in SRL. Once legitimately, and I give it to him. He won fair and square.
Ish.
The second one, no, he didn't.
Can I point out that you say he's beaten you twice out of about 200 games?
I know.
Yeah, he's got a point.
Imagine that near immaculate record against him, and there's 2, one of which was out of either of our controls. It was the fucking game that screwed it.
Oh my God, let it go, Fred.
In fact, we're gonna play it.
Oh God, here we go.
I'm gonna include it in this podcast.
All right, what am I? This one right here?
No, it should be. I think that one. Yeah,
All right, here we go.
it was on Earth.
Oh, I can't wait to see this.
So pay close attention to me and his position.
Okay,
He's gonna
so
be on
keep
my
note.
right.
I've got the giant snow globe on my head. There's Fred.
Okay, Fred is center.
I think this is the one.
You're missing all the gates, Fred. That's
This
why
was
you lost.
this was like my second race. All right.
All right,
This
so
is-
he hits
this is
that
so-
gate.
so terrible.
Yeah, this was the one.
Okay, you're
I hit the
there.
gate.
Look at how far ahead I am.
Yeah.
Look at how far
I
ahead.
saw it. All right, I can see that. I can see that.
Okay, so
Dude, y'all are within a fraction of a second of each other.
we were really
Yeah,
really
see,
close.
that's the kicker. Let me look at
That's
it.
server
It's-
latency.
That's 0.1. Yeah, that's 0.1 second behind me.
But what I'm going to do is probably for this podcast go frame by frame for the people listening and watching, so they can see this bullshit.
Oh, you need to include this video in
You
the
should have-
podcast.
Oh, it'll be there.
You know
Okay.
what the problem was?
I'll watch that one more time.
He had a taller hat. His hat went through first.
Boom.
Taller doesn't matter. It's longer.
But, well, I am longer. And if you want to throw, I mean, we can whip them out right now. Throw them out on the table.
I don't feel comfortable anymore.
Okay, so we're rewatching it. Look at this. I am actually ahead. There's no denying I am ahead of him.
He is
in
ahead
that.
ahead.
Yeah, but that's
I
server.
think,
Yeah,
I
that
think
was
the
server.
snow globe did it. It was the snow globe.
Yep, that was server latency, is what that was.
I was so pissed about that, and I've been harking on about it since we've done that.
The thing I love about SRL is just like Mario Kart in that the game just picks you to fuck at random times, where just another player will accidentally barely tap your sparrow and you go careening off a cliff. It's so beautiful.
You know, people complain about getting pushed. It's actually not that big of a deal to me, getting pushed around. He's adjust.
I'm moving my camera. Stand by.
Again,
it
I
makes
wish we
it-
could be filming this.
It makes a
It'd be great.
difference because there's a lot of times when you get hit and you go off just enough to hit a wall and that ends you.
the lighting is better.
It's not
where
so
I
much-
have it.
Oh, gotcha.
That's why I have it there. The lighting is better because it's closer to that yellow, and it doesn't have as much white, so I don't look as ghosty.
It's entirely just so I can see your reactions to things, but okay.
Okay, well,
No, it's
legitimate.
Yeah, it's Facecam lesson 101. This is a
Facecam for
tutorial
Steve.
podcast.
it's face cam for Steve. Fondue for 2.
You were saying with the hitting people?
Yes, with bumping people.
Fuck that shit.
The issue
It's so
isn't
great.
getting bumped. Getting bumped isn't an issue because it doesn't actually push you very far. The problem I've noticed is, one, our reactions to getting touched. So when someone bumps into us, we slightly go over, but then we try to correct and we end up just veering all over the place.
Oh, it's great.
That's on us. Also, I've tried bumping into people. We played a few matches where it was like 5 of our friends and we needed one person who sucks at SRL to get in first place. So we would all try and screw over the one random person.
Sure.
So we would all try and bump into him. I had plenty of points where I would slam into him and he just wouldn't move. I mean, he'd slightly go to the side and that's about it. And then he'd fall right back in line. It doesn't push you that far or that hard.
It doesn't. What I've noticed the biggest issue is, especially for the people who are up in the more forward positions, because the speed gates that you have to go through get smaller the higher position you are,
Yeah.
or the better position you are. So you get those people up in front who start hitting each other, and they're really just pushing each other out of the gate more so than not. And that's where I see a lot of it comes from, where you'll get 2 people kind of hooked together, you know, like like Annie and Sebulba in Phantom Menace
Yeah. What?
podcast races.
Oh, yes. The
you
podcast
get
races?
that, and then one person invariably just like gets launched off to the edge when you break free.
You called it the podcast races.
He called it podcast races.
Oh, did I?
I thought you'd get a kick. I wanted you to
The
hear
pod
yourself.
racers. I know my Star Wars, even if it is the worst movie out of all of them.
There we go. Now I can see Fred. I feel better. I really feel better because now I can see him.
That is...
But you can't really see me.
That's...
Like, I'm facing the wrong way.
But I can still see you now. That's the kicker.
This would be fun if we were actually recording. Now we're doing all kinds of bullshit behind the scenes to...
My favorite
stuff
part
happen.
is when we started doing these, you two were the first two to go, I don't want to be on camera.
Oh, no, I
Now
always-
I'm the only one who's not on camera.
Well, bring me a fucking webcam.
And I'm not actually on camera. See?
All right, I can fix this.
I disappeared.
Oh, I wish we
I
had
can
footage
fix
of this.
Right here. Look at this.
We have so many great visual gags going, and it's just not working.
Look, there's Fred.
Oh my god.
I think it
We're gonna
works.
have to cut
I like
all
that.
of this.
That actually works really well.
We're gonna have to cut all of this because we can't show anyone.
Yeah, we can.
No, we can't. How can we show this?
You know what? I'll figure it out.
All right. You figure it out.
I'll figure it out.
Uh,
But look, now Fred can see me and I can see Fred. The world is all right again.
so SRL
It's
is a lot of
alright.
fun. The rest of the Dawning stuff is pretty cool.
Oh, yeah? Is it?
Well,
Can you
I
tell
mean-
me about it? Can you tell me what else there is right now?
There's
There's things and stuff and boots and pants.
Exactly
Presents and
the
boots and
problem
pants
I
and
was
boots
worried
and
about.
pants.
The Dawning itself is not much of anything. It's a handful of quest lines that you can knock out in an hour each. That's about it.
you got a free sparrow.
I don't
Part
know
of
though.
SRL.
I don't know
Yeah.
though. I mean, with that, we don't know what's. We've only unlocked two of the big Christmas boxes. One from Ikora, and well, the Zer one contains something a quest line for Ikora. We don't know how long this quest line is going to be.
We actually do.
How do you know?
Fred and I finished it.
It's super quick.
Well,
It's like
fuck you both.
it was two
And-
parts.
Okay, well, you know, here, I'm going to throw this out. We're not waiting for you on shit, okay? You got to remember, we waited for you to start all this shit.
I said start without me.
He did. I was the one who fought
I
to start.
sent you
to
a
wait for
text
him.
saying I'm getting to work late because of a tire incident that happened.
You trying to figure out how to face me?
No, it's smudgy.
Oh.
It's bothering me.
Start without me because I will be on late. I did the polite thing and said I will be back late. Go without me.
I did fight to wait on him to do the Dawning
That's your
stuff.
mistake.
That was me. Yeah, that was me.
Which, you know what? We're going to break off Destiny because that brings me to a story I want to tell. So, I blew out my tire this week. Sucks. Hit a rock. It happens. Had to change it. For whatever reason, I got my tires at Walmart. The last tires I got.
Because he's a moron. I want to point that out, and I want it on the record. He's a moron for buying tires at Walmart.
There were reasons, but I will not go into them.
Moron.
So, I have the warranty for the tires at Walmart, so it makes sense. Go to Walmart to replace the tire. Does that make sense at least?
No. You have no sympathy for me.
So, get to Walmart, walk into the front door. We're going to do a little role playing here. Fred, you are someone who works in the auto department at Walmart. I come up to you. I have a Acura. It's a 3.2 CL Type S. Yes, I'm telling my car. It's an old piece of shit. It's 2001. Got tires here. Broke the tires, but I have the warranty. Here's the phone number the warranty's under. Wheel has a crack in it. Is it going to be safe to drive on? It's small, but I don't know if it's dangerous.
I'm from the electronics department.
Well, yes, because fuck Walmart.
That's exactly what they would say.
Probably. But what's the first thing you do if someone says, I need a tire and maybe a wheel?
I say go to Pep Boys.
God damn it. Okay, fine.
You went to Walmart.
I went to Walmart.
You put
which was
this on
my mistake.
yourself.
Yeah, if you'd have gone to Discount Tires, they'd have helped you. The managers have the ability there to bring prices down if you want to do it that day. They help you. Discount Tires is the shit.
Maybe,
They're all right.
I have warranty at Walmart, so I want the goddamn warranty to
Well, obviously,
at
you're
least
not
take
getting the
effect.
goddamn warranty if you still have to pay $200 fucking dollars.
I'm going to get to that.
Sponsored by Discount Tires.
First thing I ask is just, do you have the tires and the wheel if I have to replace the wheel so that I can do this today? Lady looks it up. Yes, we carry that. Okay, perfect. What's the wait? It's an hour-long wait. That was wrong because 3 hours later.
Okay, so I just want to stop you real quick. You said, what's the wait? My first thought, maybe I am a Walmart employee in disguise. My first thought was, I don't know, like 16 kilograms? Sorry, continue.
So it takes like 3 hours before they finally get to my car. The tech walks in and asks to speak to me. First thing he comes up and says, so your tire, it looks like it has a pretty big hole in it. So we're going to have to replace the tire. First thing that I told them when I walked in. First damn thing I told them when I walked in. Point to it on the page. I'm like, it's on the notes. Oh, well, do you have the warranty? Point to it on the page. Covered by warranty. Okay, well, you're going to have to pay half the price of the tire because you've already worn down more than half the tire. I look him dead in the eye and I point to the page and I just go, you mean to tell me that I wore out more than half the tire in less than 3 months? He's like, well, I can show you. I'm like, yes, I want to see how I wore out more than half the tire in 3 months. So we go out into the stupid area. He wheels the tire over and I point to it. I go, just to make sure, because I now do not have faith in this. You're saying this crack is safe. Oh, I didn't know there was a crack. Was it safe? Oh, if it's small, it's fine. So is this crack safe? Oh, no, you can't drive on that.
If it's small, it's fine. That one's not small.
I'm like, goddamn, I might as well be doing your goddamn job for you at this point. I'm so furious because of how long I've had to wait and how much stupid stuff they're just parroting back to me. I go inside. I'm like, well, let me go ahead. I'll get the tire. I'll get the wheel. Oh, we don't have that wheel here. You'll have to order it online. I waited 3 goddamn hours, spent 20 minutes talking to a guy who was just telling me what I'd already told him back to me, just to be told that I have to wait for a goddamn wheel to get ordered.
Look, all I'm saying is you're a dumbass for going to fucking Walmart in the first place. Secondly, places like, oh, I don't know, National Tire, NTB, that's all they do is tires. Discount Tire. All they fucking do. You get a better goddamn warranty than the Mexican Fix-A-Flats in East Plano. You get a better warranty than you get at fucking Walmart. You get better customer service.
I don't care if I get a better deal. I shouldn't have waited 3.5 hours to be told fuck you when they could have just said fuck you within 5 minutes.
I don't mind getting said to... I don't... Fuck, alright. I'm an idiot.
Well, this is what you get for one dealing with Walmart. So you brought that upon yourself.
But hey, life lesson learned.
Don't go to Walmart. Don't buy
For
your
anything.
tires from Walmart.
Ever. Didn't we also have a conversation just before that about how you didn't want to go to Walmart for monitors?
No, that was a different conversation because I have to get a monitor. Since I was waiting for 3 goddamn hours, I decided to just walk through Walmart and see what they had available and get some ideas.
Oh, okay.
Because I thought, you know what? Walmart's cheap. Maybe they might have a cheap monitor.
I gotta
No, they don't.
I gotta add something. Just got a text message from Kelly. I've bought tires at Walmart and I've never had any issues. Damn, that's fucking great. So it's just you. You just have shitty luck.
Tell me to fuck off within 5 minutes, not 3.5 hours later.
What did you learn from this?
That I shouldn't have ordered the wheel because now I have to go back when it gets in.
And it's gonna take them at least a day to put that wheel on.
I know.
If you'd have done it at Discount Tire, you'd have had a new wheel and a tire for under $200.
But the warranty.
But
Sometimes you just have to say, fuck the warranty.
But the warranty.
Sometimes you just have to say it. I know it sucks, but guess what? Sometimes you have to say, fuck the warranty. That's just what happens. So, Destiny.
So that's my Walmart.
Were we
story.
talking about Destiny before this?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh.
We somehow got on to... Oh, because you wanted to know why I was late.
I don't give a shit when
Oh,
I'm
yeah.
late.
Oh, because you wanted to give me shit about being late.
Yes. That's more like it.
So anyways, we did the quest that you get with Ikora. We thought it was going to take a while because part of it is get void kills, which takes forever every other time you have to do it.
Which I had just done Thorn. My first thought was, fuck you, game.
We finished it within about one...
We did it in like 30 minutes to an
we did
hour.
like one
Just so
shot.
everybody knows, Fred plays a Titan in Destiny, and as everybody knows, they have little T-Rex arms.
The T-Rex arms aren't the issue. It's the fact that Void is a fucking bubble. I can't kill anything with it. And yet, I noticed the strike medals, there is a medal for getting a kill with your defender bubble somehow.
Yes, because you can trap people in the bubble.
but you can't damage them.
I don't know.
You can kill them while they're in the bubble, but the bubble itself doesn't hurt them.
Does it do a tiny bit of damage when it drops? Because I've actually had in PvP one time it killed me and it said I was killed by Defender Bubble.
No, the only thing I could think of is if like they were shooting something and the explosion off of the bubble killed. Maybe that counts as a Defender Bubble kill. I don't know. But I can tell you what, it sucks ass when you got quests to do void kills.
Oh yeah,
Void ability.
Yeah,
Void Bow Hunter is probably the second hardest to do void stuff with.
probably.
Certainly ain't difficult for the fucking warlocks. They can drop a Nova bomb in the middle of shit.
Warlocks really,
We call that a skadoosh.
Warlocks really have the best when it comes to completing those elemental quests because the Nova Bomb counts, the Tickle Fingers count, the Shock Fingers, whatever it's called, Stormcaller, and the Solar Grenades when you do your super count.
Yeah.
And our melees.
And your melees. My melees don't even count as a hunter unless
Well,
it's the
we got while I'm Sunsinger, my charged up melee, it counts as part of a super kill.
Well, yeah, because it's your special melee.
Yeah.
As long as it's a special melee, it'll count.
Yeah, but because it super regens really quickly. So on a side note, if we got another webcam, we could put Skyler cam right there. And then I can create an overlay to go over all of this.
Just if you're listening, visualize it. It's really impressive.
It is. I'm actually...
Exactly what he said, just visualize that.
I'm actually quite... I think I could do this. If we got one more webcam, we could actually do it.
We'll talk about it after the podcast.
Yes.
Okay. Sorry. I'm very
We're not having a meeting here.
I'm very ADD right now. I got pretty things.
So, The Dawning.
The
What
Dawning.
were we talking about? Oh, we were talking about the quest.
So, I don't know. We still have to see what... I'm sure we'll get this... Because I'm assuming you got the Void Thunderlord.
I mean, I don't want to say what it is and spoil it for everyone who wants to find out what's in the presents. You don't tell someone what a gift is before they open the box.
Unless you're a dick.
Unless you're a dick.
Skyler.
Steve.
I'll own up to it. Fuck both
Steve.
of you. I own up to it. But what's in the box? What's in the box?
A thing.
A broken machine gun.
You mean a bitch machine gun? Sure.
No, it's broken. Like, it doesn't work.
You do get a broken hand-me-down.
Yeah.
In one of the boxes.
Oh, and you get, like, 2 or 3 exotics?
I got 2.
Yeah,
I got 2. Okay.
I
There's
think
2
you get
exotics.
you get the schematics and the 2.
That's what you get from the box. Period. That's what you get.
At the end of the quest, it's the Void Thunderlord, yes?
No, it's another quest, actually.
Actually, yes. It is another quest. He's not kidding.
Both.
Yes,
So,
you get the Void.
You get the Void Thunderlord.
You get the Void
That wasn't
Thunderlord
that
for-
fucking difficult.
Yes.
Why?
It hurt my soul.
No,
It's
it didn't, you fucking liar.
You killed my Christmas spirit right there.
Oh, you're a fucking shit.
I can look at you now.
But you're pointing at me. When you point at the screen, it points at me.
Fuck you, Skyler.
So, okay, so you get the Void Thunderlord. We still have to open the Saladin box,
Yeah.
which I'm sure is going to have something to do with one of the elemental Gallarhorns.
There are no elemental Gallarhorns.
Then you fucking lied to me, bitch.
I didn't say there was. You
Yes,
said there
No,
was.
you said there was.
I never said there was an elemental
You said you
Gjallarhorn.
brought up the Thunderlord and you brought up the Gallarhorn.
No, I said there was
When?
elemental
Wait, when?
Thunderlords. Someone else brought that up, and I said I wish that they hadn't done that because those are 2 of the most iconic guns.
You originally brought it up, but neither here
When?
nor
Wait,
there.
when?
It was one of the online conversations we were having. It's when he brought up the whole Thunderlord thing.
I was going to say, 'cause
Pixar didn't happen.
you mentioned it in the podcast. I know because I just edited that part.
Sure.
God damn it, I keep saying
But
I hate you too. It's okay.
The strike scoring is fun.
I
That's the other
wish it
part of
was
the
more
Dawning.
like Halo strike scoring, where it gave me my individual score and compared it with y'all's.
Yeah, I do wish it had that.
It's
That'd be nice.
it's a conglomerative score between everybody, and I want to see who got what medals, who got a higher score. That's what I want to know.
I would like to see a breakdown at the end, not during.
Yeah, at the end, yeah.
Just because one thing I do like is since it's combined, I feel much more part of a team and like we're all helping towards it. And I don't want to know until the very end that I contributed 80% of the score and one guy was dicking off in the corner.
No. It's the other way around. Fred's doing 80% of the score. You're dicking around in the corner.
I like that he gave me credit for absolutely no reason there. Like,
Okay, out of the
I
three of
generally
us,
don't
who's got
do
the
shit.
majority? Out of the 3 of us, who gets the majority of the kills? Well, me, I do. I storm call the fucker.
Yeah,
But,
you have
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Stormcaller.
Like, you just gave me credit for no
You
reason.
push
I'll
two
take it.
buttons. You push 2 buttons and get 30 kills.
and you're bitching?
Who's the last one alive? I can raise my hand too.
Oh, look, you're not on camera. You're not important.
We're not recording. It doesn't matter.
Actually, I am recording this.
Damn it.
Boom.
So, yeah, the strike scoring is really cool. It's kind of weird. I think it's a little broken.
A little bit, yeah. Because like I can't figure out how to get the assist medals.
It's really tough. I know we did the Will of Crota. Is
Yeah.
that it? We did that one, and I walked away with only 2 assist medals.
Let me rephrase what you just said, though. It's really tough to not get gold. We've gotten gold on every single strike we've done.
Flayers, it's very difficult.
I have yet to
Well,
not get gold
We
with or
had-
without trying.
Doing the Will of Crota last night, we died probably 20 times in a row just in one area. We still got gold.
I don't know.
Yeah, it's super easy to get gold.
It's like them also setting those ridiculously high par times for SRL. 5 minutes and 30 seconds to finish a 3-lap race.
Oh, that's another thing.
Yeah, Fred and I were actually talking about
3
that.
minutes and 30 seconds I would have felt would have been a better par time.
No, that's not
Let's
lap
just
time.
arbitrarily throw out numbers.
That's not lap time. That's total completion. That's total race time.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Total race time, 3 minutes and 30 seconds. That's a
You
better
have not
par-
done 3 minutes 30 seconds on any of those tracks. I
All right, well
promise
then
you.
4 minutes and 30 seconds.
I
That's
haven't-
more realistic.
You haven't done that either. I promise you. I was looking. My current top score is 441 960 something.
5 minutes would probably be a good, hard par time. I say that with a hint of... I don't know what the proper phrase is.
He's being a bitch. That's what the phrase is.
No, I say that respecting the fact that because this is a limited time event, they do have to make it easy enough that you can complete that part of the book within the 3 weeks. Because we got to remember, not everyone is able to jump in and play all day, all 3 weeks. There's going to be people who are only able to get in for like 2 days.
Yeah. But those are also the people who aren't concerned with completing the book because they're not going to have time to do it anyway.
Just because you don't have time doesn't mean you're not concerned. I mean, this is holiday season. A lot of people are away from home. The fact that it spans 3 weeks means I'm actually really glad they did that, because for a lot of people, they're going to be gone for a week or longer. I've had vacations where I've gone out to family for more than a week.
But that's what I'm saying. You're not going to have time to complete the book anyway, and that's what that's in the book. That's the only purpose it has, is to complete portions of that the Dawning book.
Well,
So they're not going to be concerned with that anyway.
I
would imagine.
I don't like when they hide limited time stuff behind being good, because then it becomes ultra elitist exclusive.
I do agree with that. I don't think 5 minutes is pushing it. I think that's challenging people to race.
Have you seen our friend race? I
Our
don't wanna
friend
say
has
our name.
scored under 5 minutes on multiple tracks.
Yeah,
Has
she
she?
has.
She's gotten better.
Okay. I know for a while she was getting about 7 minutes of race.
She wasn't doing 7 minutes.
She was doing 7 minutes. It wasn't that bad.
She was doing like 5:30, 5:45, but still, she's gotten pretty good.
Yeah.
She's getting better, and
Okay.
I think, especially being a book, one of these record books, it should be something that requires at least a little bit of challenge. And 5 minutes 30 is just not challenging enough. I do agree 5 minutes. That's a good medium area to put that.
Good solid number.
I'm basing that just because I finish usually under 5 minutes. Right about there.
Most people generally finish under 5 minutes, I've noticed. Now that we're about a week into it, it's generally under 5 minutes, everyone.
What did Fred and I finish our last race at? Yeah. Part time for that could have been 4:45.
By the way, that's not our last race. That was like our second race.
Okay, but even then, our second race, 4:45 would have been a great part time. That would have been a better part time than 5 minutes and 30 seconds. That 4:45 would have been a more realistic part time for that course.
Yeah, something
Because
like
Fred
that.
and
Or
I
even
would have been dog cussing the shit out of that game.
We were already dog cussing the shit out
Well,
of each other.
regardless,
each other.
yeah, you guys. Fred will vouch for this. Fred,
Oh,
I
yeah.
apologize for the things I said during SRL. It's
Oh
kinda
no,
like Mario
I
Kart.
loved it. I had so much fun fucking with you.
It's so much fun. That's the one thing that I love about SRL is just the fuck you,
You didn't see me
fuck
spill.
you, fuck you,
You
fuck
spilled?
you.
I didn't spill.
Okay.
I spilled on my shirt.
Okay.
It's like 2 drops.
But I'm not gonna say but I'm not gonna say but
Just did.
Why did you call it out, Steve? Now I can't stop paying attention to it.
So, just like I predicted last podcast, the Dawning itself isn't much of anything. It's a couple quests. I do like that they've got the new armor and the exotics and stuff.
SRL is now part of the Dawning, so they're supposed to be combined.
I don't see it as part of, because there's nothing that really ties them together except that they happen at the same time.
Yeah, it's the Dawning is just. I feel like I like that the Dawning is not as much tied behind microtransactions like Festival of the Lost.
Yeah, they do give you more opportunities. It's better. It's a step in the right direction.
It's still pretty exclusive though, because I've opened up about 7 of those boxes now. I've yet to get a single one of the new sparrows. All I've gotten are those horns, and I've gotten multiple horns within those 7 boxes, like duplicates. So there's still somewhere they're trying to get you to buy boxes.
Well, of course. I mean, you also have to remember this is free content.
I paid $60 for when I bought Rise of Iron.
No, you paid $60 for Rise of Iron.
I didn't pay for it.
You know what? Fuck you in the asshole, Batman. You paid $60 for the Rise of Iron DLC. You did not pay for everything else that's coming out. You didn't pay for any of the holiday events.
Yet part of the microtransactions that they put in, and part of the reason why they said Rise of Iron was $60, is that's what fuels the so-called free content.
So when Crimson Days comes out, and you're going to bitch about Crimson Days too?
If they make me buy a box to get a red ghost,
They're
yes.
always going to have to make you buy a box.
Not make you, though. They didn't make me. I got the
Crimson. Or Crimson or chocolate? You got the chocolate.
I got the chocolate this time. I got the Crimson during the Crimson Days.
Last Crimson Days, all the stuff was rewarded for playing the Crimson Days.
For doing the
Game
playlist, yeah. So you could get it just by playing. You didn't have to pay to get everything.
You can only get the Dawning stuff out of the Dawning box. You can't get
because
it from
there's no Dawning
gameplay.
playlist. That's the thing.
SRL. All the Dawning box has all the fancy sparrows.
No. You get SRL gear. You don't. The SRL and the Dawning, like Fred said, they're 2 parallel events.
But you cannot get the SRL sparrows that are in the Dawning book or in the Dawning boxes. Like that rainbow sparrow, that really cool one that everyone wants, you can only get from the book. You can't win that doing sparrow races.
You mean from the box?
If you're gonna talk if you're gonna talk with your whole body, move your mic away. But SRL and the Dawning, they're 2 parallel events. Crimson Doubles, there is a playlist. There is a match type for Crimson Doubles.
There is a game mode for SRL. It's called SRL, the Sparrow Racing League.
But not for the Dawning.
But not for the Dawning. I actually, for once ever, I agree with Steve.
Well, not once ever. Come on, give me this.
Well, you're wrong too.
Every now and then, Steve has, they're like, Steve has good ideas every now and then.
This is why I said it's a step in the right direction, but it's not quite there. I think that they should have incorporated SRL more into the Dawning. So maybe some of that stuff that's in the boxes you can get as a reward. Maybe not all of it. Maybe there is still something exclusive to the boxes. But some of those cool sparrows should be rewards in SRL as well.
That's more what annoys me, is that all the sparrows that are obviously there because of SRL should be SRL rewards. Maybe have one of them be exclusive. Maybe the rainbow one gets to be a part of the box only.
Or something like that, yeah.
But there's 3 sparrows that are available, not part of the paid content.
But they're not the cool ones.
You can have a Honda Civic, a 1989 Honda Civic for $200. Or you can have a Lamborghini. You want the Lamborghini, but you're not going to pay for it. It's the same fucking concept.
But all the Fords in the middle, I want those two.
I'm giving you an 89 Honda Civic. No, change it. I'm giving you a 89 Honda Civic. Or you can pay for a Lamborghini.
Do I need to replace the tire on the Honda Civic?
Actually, I think a more apt comparison is you can have a red Honda Civic or you can have a white Honda Civic with a red stripe. But you got to pay extra for the red stripe.
Yep, that's a better that's a better comparison. You're complaining about free content.
You want the red stripe, but you got to pay for it.
You're bitching about free content.
It's not free. We paid for it. We paid for that content.
You're still bitching about it.
Because I paid for it, and they're asking me to pay more.
You are now turning into the people you hate. You're bitching about the content. You bitched about this last year with Taken King. You're bitching about it.
This isn't bitching about it. This is not liking something that they've done.
And you're doing what? Complaining is also known as what? Come on, say it. Say it, bitch.
Fuck you, Steve.
I think there's a to keep from getting too far down that rabbit hole. There is a difference between complaining and just stating things that you don't like.
There are facts behind.
But I do
my
think
reasons.
you are complaining a bit in there.
You know
Boom.
what? Look at it this way.
A bit.
Look at it this way.
Entirely.
When you started The Dawning, it said The Dawning, part of what?
The Dawning.
The
Dawning,
The
part
Dawning.
of Rise of
Dawning.
Iron. Rise of Iron required to play The Dawning, which means I had to pay that $60 for Rise of Iron to get this content. I paid for this content. Now they're telling me I need to pay more to enjoy more of this content.
World of Warcraft does the same goddamn thing.
World of Warcraft makes you just pay a subscription fee to get on their server. It's different.
You also have to buy the $60 game. You don't get the game. You don't get the big expansions for free. Nobody got Legion. Well, normal people don't get Legion for free.
Hey, I didn't get that one for free.
Fuck you, Fred. Okay? So
I agree.
if you
World
picked
of
up
Warcraft is overpriced as well, which is why I don't play it anymore. But that doesn't mean that it's okay.
It's the same concept, though.
It's subscription, whereas Destiny is not subscription.
But you still pay for the game.
And when their holiday event comes around, they don't tell me to pay more.
But when you want to pay for extra stuff. Okay, ESO. ESO's free to play. What did you want to buy that you missed out on? What did you want to buy
I wanted
that
to
you
buy a
missed
little
out on?
companion.
Okay, you wanted the fucking wolf pup. You missed out on the wolf pup. Why should you have to pay for that wolf pup when you've already paid for the game and all the expansions? It's the same goddamn theory.
It is, and I still disagree with it.
But it's the same theory. Why should you have to pay for that wolf pup if it's already part of the game? It's already part of the expansion you paid for.
Because it wasn't part of the expansion I paid for.
Price is irrelevant. It's part of this. It's part of this expansion. It came out during this expansion. Therefore, it's part of that expansion. It's the same concept.
Expansion is permanent content, though. The Dawning isn't permanent, which is part of the problem. It's not like you can spend a year trying to farm stuff out and eventually get all the Dawning stuff. You've only got a limited time, a limited chances to get it, and if you don't get it within those, then you're forced to buy it if you want to have it.
That's why they should make a way to get it without having to buy it, in my opinion.
Yes. Well, like including most of it in rewards for activities you're doing. Maybe getting gold in strikes can give you a chance of getting...
That's what I'm asking for. We went way down that rabbit hole. Fred just said exactly what I'm asking for.
It's the same complaint I've had about microtransactions since their inception in 2006. They should, even though it's cosmetic, I get that it's cosmetic, and I love that you don't pay to win in Destiny, but it's still cosmetic. I put a lot of time and effort into this game. I'd like some way of getting it outside of having to buy it separately. Even if it's longer, convoluted, takes a lot of time or whatever, I want that opportunity. Or if it's luck-based, if I just have to do the same activity over and over and hope I get it, fine.
That's
you
also the
won't
part
do.
of that.
I won't do, but I have the opportunity to do it.
Well, and that's the other issue is if you do pay, it's still luck-based.
Well, see,
That's-
that is definitely bullshit.
That's a problem with all microtransactions.
Well, I thought they had the new board where you could just buy what you want.
That's only for previous stuff. None of the Dawning stuff is on there.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
If you've unlocked it, then it'll be on the holiday board. But
Okay.
that's the thing, is you have to unlock it.
Wait, so you have to unlock it so you can buy it again?
No,
Yes.
Fred's talking about the Silver Dust board, the new one.
No,
Yeah.
the holiday board as well. I've unlocked all the holiday armor for the Warlock, so when the Dawning is over, all of my holiday armor will be on that board.
Yeah, but do you have to take it out of that
But
board?
to get that
do you have
holiday
to pay
armor,
for it?
you have to
again?
buy the boxes.
Yeah, you have to get the boxes. But you
Right.
also get...
There's a Silver Dust board where you can just walk up and buy things you don't have.
Yeah. But that's not what we're talking about.
That's what Fred's talking about.
That was I was talking about the
Oh,
Silver
okay.
Dust one. Because I thought they had added that with the Dawning.
They
Yeah,
did.
they added that.
Well, we spent way too long on the Dawning.
No, we didn't. We spent the first 10 minutes talking about bad words.
No.
The movie, not the terms.
Well, I want to talk about the other Christmas thing.
All
Because
right.
I finally got to play Dead Rising 4, which we talked a little bit about last week, and I need to start by making a correction. Last week I said that the game did not have a lot of exposition. That's because somehow I skipped the first chunk of the game. I somehow skipped the entirety of what they call Case Zero, which is the tutorial, and all of the game's exposition.
How the hell do you skip the
I
tutorial?
don't know. I don't know if maybe that's like the game is ready to play thing just threw me in and I somehow skipped it because of that. I have no clue how I skipped it. Because when I started the game, I had a cutscene of like the animated intro of all the people getting turned into zombies. And then I had a cutscene of like a guy telling Frank to go to Willamette. And the game started. Apparently there's this whole other case, because I went back and replayed the game and restarted it, where you go through like a military base with who winds up being one of the main antagonists. It's like a 30-minute setup for this game. Granted, it was fun. I really enjoyed it. Their game has I have to correct because I initially said that there was no exposition and there's apparently a ton. That aside, Dead Rising 4, phenomenal game. Really different from the others though, and I don't know how I feel about that.
Phenomenal if you like zombie games.
Okay, yeah. I mean, it's at its core, it is just a kill lots of zombies game.
It's a hack and slash zombie game. And from what I
actually.
saw from that video you showed, which is here's the video that you were actually wanting to show off.
Yeah, I wanted to show this just because of the sheer numbers.
This
the
is
amount of zombies that they are able to put on screen is astonishingly impressive.
This is 99 Nights with zombies.
Kind of. I mean, this is also only one spot. This is just an area I had to go through, and I was so amazed at how many zombies there were that I just tried to go through the whole thing.
99 Nights with zombies.
A lot of it
There's
is
no way it had this many, though. I mean,
But-
this is only possible on current hardware.
Right, and a lot of it is the zaniness of the game. For instance, in this particular clip, every couple of seconds I do a power attack. That's just a sword of pure ice. Like, the game's combo weapons are amazing. They're incredibly fun to use. It laughs at itself. It's very silly, which is weird because this is the first Dead Rising that I think actually has kind of a serious tone and an actually decent story. Yes, Fred? Or Steve?
How the hell can you have a serious tone in a hack and slash zombie game?
That's why I say I think it's weird. The game actually has a somewhat decent message towards the end of the game, and it does a good job of making you care for a lot of the characters towards the end. The ending of the game, which I'm not going to spoil and we'll get into a whole other time because I need y'all to see it before I can go into it, actually was a very good ending to the game that caught me by surprise and left me actually feeling with an emotional attachment to some of the characters and feeling sad for some of the things that happened, which has never happened in a Dead Rising game before.
See, the problem I hear with that is, I think Dead Rising 3, that's the game that I spent the most time in for Dead Rising.
Right, which is the one where they tried to be serious.
They tried to be serious, and they made a serious attempt at trying to be serious, and it came off as just not right. Nothing about it seemed right.
This one didn't feel like they were trying.
Going from killing a gimp with a giant penis for a flamethrower.
Right, well, that's another thing is, this Dead Rising, the psychopaths are gone, which I do not like. So you know all the boss fights from Dead Rising 3, which are a main staple of the series?
Yeah.
They're not there. They have maniac fights, which are 2 seconds long, and you forget about those characters the second you see them.
Oh, wow.
I'm not a fan of that at all. The game has 4 major boss fights. Only one of them lasted more than 5 minutes for me.
Okay,
There's
that is a
actually
little
one boss
disappointing.
fight that started, the cutscene ended, I shot the enemy 3 times, and it went into another cutscene.
Is it a problem that you just had overpowered weapons at that time, or
I don't know. Maybe?
are you playing on an easy difficulty?
There's no difficulty settings.
Oh, okay.
So I can see some of the complaints that the game is too easy in that regard.
That sounds like some serious Fable 2 shit right there.
It does make me feel sad because that was a main staple of the Dead Rising games that I loved. I love the boss fights in Dead Rising games. They're all very unique and very creative for a zombie slasher game.
Yeah, not always good, but definitely unique.
I mean, they're fun nonetheless.
Most of them.
Well,
Again,
I am thinking of the fat lady.
she's referenced in Dead Rising 4, which made me very
if
happy.
you like zombie hack 'em slash 'ems, it's fun.
I think it's definitely a good game. It's very different. I almost wish that instead of calling it Dead Rising 4, they called it like Dead Rising Black Friday or something, like just a side series.
It is weird that it's a Christmas-based game, and it's still a main entry into the franchise.
I want there to be more Christmas-based games after that game, though, because that was so great. Just having the random quips about I hate Santa, fuck Christmas. It was great.
He shares my ideas. I love it.
But that's all I'll do for Dead Rising, because so much of it I feel actually needs to be experienced, because it caught me by surprise with a lot of its story.
I definitely still want to play it, but I've been very hesitant to pick it up, just from everything I've been hearing about it.
Mm-hmm.
Did Steve raise his hand?
Yes.
Yes.
You got a monitor to look at. I'm like, ooh.
You're like way off in the corner. I can kind of only hide it. See.
You haven't done any of the co-op stuff yet, have you?
I've not done the multiplayer yet, which I'm really wanting to get into. I do kind of feel, I wonder if, because they had to get it out in time for the Christmas holidays, if they cut back on a lot of features they were going to put in order to get the multiplayer done.
See, that's why I don't like festive-based main entries into a series.
I'll agree with that. However, I do still think it's a great, great Dead Rising game.
I do want to hear more, and I do want to talk more about Dead Rising 4, because I'm actually very curious about this co-op, because if it's Left 4 Dead style, like you guys are talking about, I could conceivably, once it's $20, thinking about picking it up, and we could do the co-op stuff. $20.
The co-op in Dead Rising 3 was so much fun.
$20.
I'm afraid that the co-op in Dead Rising 4 won't be.
Everything I've seen makes me think it is. I'm going to do that this weekend. The game has a bunch of trials and challenges that I've been trying to complete for single player before I delve too much into multiplayer.
Okay.
So I'm done with Dead Rising. I don't want to spend too much time on it because, like I said, I want people to explore it for themselves. Okay. Though you finally played a game that you should have played years ago.
Last of Us. Oh my god.
Before you get into this, I just want to point out, I have spent how many years trying to get you to play The Last of Us, and every time you're like, I'm not interested.
No.
You got a PS3, and I was like, hey, you really ought to try it. He's like, I'm not interested.
Remember, I did try it though, and then my Blu-ray drive died.
You did the first 10 minutes.
I got all the way up to the harbor with Tess.
But the thing is, you got a PS4, and then you didn't go out and buy it
because I had other things to get. I was doing other things at the time.
Well, for whatever
now
reason
you're playing it.
Well, now I'm fucking playing it. What more do you want from me? So,
I want you to go back in time.
Oh, I can't do that.
I want you to like it.
If I could go back in time, I'd fix other shit first. But that's relativity.
No, Last of Us.
So, The Last of Us. The first thing I want to point out, I actually made notes because, I would forget all this shit.
He pulled a me.
Yeah, I recognize the jump scares. I see them in the game. There's only one that has gotten me up to this point.
Jump scares?
Yes.
I'll be honest, I never recognized any jump scares.
There's a handful of jump scares in this.
I remember a lot of moments where you could have a jump scare happen.
The only jump scare that's got me is when the first time you get into Billy's little city thing and he's got the bomb set up everywhere. That first time the infected whatever comes around the corner, the runner, and blows the bomb. That freaked me the fuck out there for a second because I turned really quickly and I didn't see all of it.
Oh, okay.
That kind of got me.
Oh, before we keep going too far, this is going to have spoilers. The game came out a long time ago.
2011 or something, yeah.
I've only gotten up to a certain point. I just got outside of Pittsburgh.
You haven't beaten it yet?
No.
Oh, so we can't talk about one of the best parts of the game.
No, you can't. So shut your pie hole. This is The Last of Us is going to kind of get brought up over the next couple of podcasts as I'm playing this game. Fred, what's with the face?
I just thought there was one part I wanted to talk about, and I realized you haven't gotten to it yet.
Yeah, it's the same thing I wanted to talk about because it's going to be important for Last of Us 2.
Was it the farmhouse? Is that what you're thinking of?
Hey!
Oh, believe me, that's not enough description.
Yeah, because even I'm kind of...
There's like 100 farmhouses in this fucking game.
I was more so wanting to talk about the thing everyone wants to always talk about, the ending.
Oh, no, I wasn't going to talk that. Anyway, go ahead.
But I've gotten as far as, I know Ellie's infected. We've got through the little cell, the place with Billy, the gay guy. Right? That was his name?
Billy in Pittsburgh?
No, the guy with the truck who's going to go find his partner who hung himself.
I don't remember that, actually.
Okay. So,
no, I don't.
But I will notice, and this is actually something I kind of wanted to bring up. I'm calling it the Bioshock effect.
What, where you want to check every
corner?
You
look in every goddamn corner. Oh, there's a pile of leaves over there. There could be something over there. There's not. I know there's not. But there's an urge inside of me that I need to check.
That's actually one of my favorite things about this game, is it's a survival game, but it's not one of those like, oh, I have to go find this crap again. I'm looking for things anyway. I'm desperate to find all this equipment.
I'm looking for. I run out of bullets.
Yeah.
When I'm coming up against the infected, I use the stealth tactics. I kill, I sneak up, I kill them, I stab them. If I'm going up against soldiers and people with guns, I get the bow and arrow, I get everything but the deer rifle, and I blow them to high hell.
That's actually one thing that I really liked is how much The Last of Us starved you of resources. Even when you're going up against other people, you're still starved to the point where you have to do, at least initially, stealth to even the odds.
Yeah.
There was one part I was actually stuck on. It's right before you get out of that main city with Ellie. It's you, Tess, and Ellie. You're cutting through like this little shopping center area.
Mm-hmm.
I was wanting to talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah, I kept getting stuck on there because I couldn't. I never looked up to get the ladder, and that's what I like about this is you have to look in 3 dimensions to be able to find stuff. It's not all parallel on that one level. You have to look up. You have to look around for stuff because I spent 6 hours looking for that goddamn ladder.
Well, it's, that point right there is actually very important for the rest of the game. It teaches you we're not going to have everything easy to find. It's not going to be available within your initial viewing. Yeah. You're going to have to walk around. You're going to want to explore to figure out where you're going, which helps you as you get farther along because suddenly you're looking for ammo or you're looking for
med packs
or anything.
A brick.
Craftable materials.
See, that's where I learned I love bricks because you can beat the shit out of people with bricks.
Yep.
Yes, I kill many people with bricks. I always have like if it's a choice. Oh look, there's a bottle. Ooh, throw the bottle. Pick my brick back up.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
There's
always
another
keep
bottle.
a brick.
Always hold a brick.
I always have the brick, so I love the brick. But the Bioshock effect, I am looking forever. Now, granted, I'm playing on normal. I'm not playing on any of these crazy extreme difficulties. I'm playing to enjoy the game.
Normal is surprisingly difficult in this game.
A lot of stuff can kill you in one hit.
It's very, very annoying. So, I mean, I feel the challenge on normal, and I'm enjoying it.
Yeah.
The game is great, and I've actually got one of the other big things that I want to point out is I don't really remember how the game looked on PS3. But just looking at these cutscenes, the amount of detail that they have thrown into this.
Oh, it holds up on PS3.
It's just like to the dirt on the dirt on their faces, the lighting.
So I'm glad that you're showing us this cutscene, which I'll have for viewers. Don't worry. This is actually my biggest complaint with the PS4 version of this game, and why I recommend the PS3 version over this one. I don't remember if there's an option to turn this off, but it's native 60 frames per second, and I hate that in a cinematic game.
Why?
There's a reason why movies are filmed at 24 frames per second, not 48, like The Hobbit tried. Everything feels plastic and fake when you get to those higher frame rates, because that's not, even though we don't see in frames, our brains don't view the world that smoothly, and so it seems fake.
See, this looks a lot better to me than any other game I've played. Granted, you guys know the games that I've played. This is the best looking game I have ever played.
Oh, in terms of everything else,
this looks
gorgeous.
This looks the most realistic, especially when you're looking at landscapes.
But right here, look, when he's looking around, look at how plastic he looks.
I don't think he looks plastic.
It
looks too smooth to be natural.
I think that's more of a personal opinion, and it's a personal opinion I have too. It's a very common one.
Well, it's a very
common
common
on what you've been exposed to, but I will say, to Naughty Dog's credit, between the Uncharted series and The Last of Us, they are great at making a game that looks realistic but holds up over time.
Yes.
This is actually one of the parts where I love the back and forth banter. You ever shot a rifle before? Yeah, at Rats, it was BB rifle. And he's teaching her how to shoot a rifle and teaching her skills like he would his daughter.
I could go for days. The character that they created for Ellie and Joel is amazing. It is the best in-game character I have seen since Alex Vance.
I'm actually going to go into more of that once you finish the game, because there's a lot of detailed stuff that I want to talk about, but I would have to talk about some of the later game stuff too.
I love the dynamic I love this AI character. I mean, it's like Fred pointed out one time we were talking about NPCs and tag along friends. You'll go off and do something, and she's just kind of hanging out doing her own thing. So, I mean,
that's actually an important detail, because you mentioned you were having trouble finding a ladder earlier. If you're ever stuck in an area, one thing I really love, over time, Ellie will kind of gradually go towards where you need to and direct you there. If you take long enough, a lot of times she'll even say, like, what about that ladder? And then she'll just walk off. And you could miss it, and not think anything of it, but she'll give you tips on where to go along the way if you're having trouble in a way that feels natural.
Oh, there's been tons of times where I'm just like this area in particular. I scoured the entire area, and eventually the game finally, she said a couple of things, and then finally the game threw up a marker and said, "Hey, go here."
It does do that occasionally, which
So the hotel that I think was before this part or after it. Yeah, the hotel that was before this.
It was just before, yeah.
Yeah, I spent 20 minutes searching one whole floor.
Oh, this scene, actually, I love this scene where she gets handed her first pistol. It's her first handgun to keep on her at all times.
Yeah, because before she's only had the butterfly knife until now.
It's a beautiful little moment between the two of them.
Now the safety's on. Do you know how to switch it off?
Well, you laugh. No, those are the things you start to say to people. It's like, you handed a kid a gun.
Yeah.
Think of that implication right there. You just handed a 14-year-old a gun.
Yeah, and that's something I want to point out. It was confirmed she is 14 years old.
Yeah. I know.
So, because I remember in, like the previous podcast or something like that.
Yeah, we were questioning it.
It was never really confirmed. But yeah, see,
got
like
you half of scissors. That's
as
good.
you guys can. I'm glad this actually showed up a little bit of the gameplay. I looked everywhere and I grabbed
had to.
everything.
This game did a great job of making you feel like a scavenger.
If you ran through any area too quickly in this game, you were screwed for the next area. It was always trying to keep you prepared for what's coming next.
Because, like I said, it's got that Bioshock effect where you can use a shiv to open a door. You have to look through everything. Plus, if you want to get all the weapon upgrade parts and stuff, it helps because I think there was one part where I got 300 little component parts out of one room, and that was
I forgot about the component parts.
Yeah, where you have to upgrade your weapons and stuff. I actually picked up a whole bunch of those in one room, and I was able to upgrade a lot of stuff. But my only downside to that is there's toolkits. Okay, I'm glad this popped up. This is something I wanted to show off. The realism with the combat. I got a shotgun. I just blew him away.
Yeah.
Wait till... This is what I love about this. The details that they put in this. Hang on, there's a Humvee trying to shoot at me.
Yeah, I know this part.
I remember this part.
I know this part very
But
well.
I mean, if you kind of look and see, I'm pointing at it now. His guts are out.
Well,
there is a hole in his stuff. The guts.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just...
It's a little graphic, but...
The amount of graphicness. But I mean, that's realism. If I shoot you with a shotgun, you're getting a hole. There's no getting around that. So I like the realism that they went into this.
Something that caught my attention about The Last of Us, when it was first announced, they first showed off the gameplay demo. We talked about it a little bit last week, how Uncharted opened with this gameplay. It's like, how much of that's actually in the game, or how much of it's just kind of this little scripted event that's going on? And most of that, I imagine, would be scripted events, just, the people moving around, dragging bodies and all that. Mm-hmm. But when The Last of Us was first showcased, it was entirely gameplay, and they promised, we promise none of this is scripted. It was actually showing off the hotel. We were actually watching. No, not this part. It was the hotel.
Yeah, this is important to the story.
Yeah, no, there's a...
Which, we'll get back to that when you've beaten the game, because there's a part of the character development that I want to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay.
But there's a famous hotel scene from this game where the first floor is flooded. Have you been to that part yet?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
And you have to climb up out of the water. And
that was the demo that when we worked at a certain store, we got to play.
Yeah. That was the E3 showing of this game as well. And the whole time I'm watching it, it's like, oh man, this looks so scripted. Every part of this looks scripted, but none of it was. And they did such a great job with that. It made the world feel real.
Yes.
And it put you in Joel's perspective. Like we talked about with Resident Evil before. Video games can put you into a character more than just, I want that character to survive.
It's the thing that I think The Last of Us does better than almost every other game. There's very few games that do this well. Almost every game has where the game is action and then moments between action to cool off for more action. The Last of Us actually only has very few big combat segments. Most of the game is just getting through the world, and it still feels fun and immersive. That is what I love about it, is it's not just all fighting all the time.
Sure.
Oh, it's later in the game, I won't say, but...
Yeah, that's...
There is a lot of combat areas, and some of them are huge.
I wasn't going to talk about that. I was going to say there's entire points of this game. Actually, you get some in the beginning, too, where you don't fight anything. There is zero combat. It is nothing but getting through it.
Right, and it doesn't feel like it doesn't feel forced or stressed. A best example I can say point to is Halo 5 tried to do that and failed very bad, where they had their calm moments, which was an entire level that you didn't have a gun.
Oh, the little
those.
hub.
I hated
areas.
those episodes.
Right. Last of Us has those areas, but at the same time, you never quite know if you need the gun.
Right. It never takes away your weapons to tell you, oh,
Yeah.
don't worry, you don't need these here.
Oh,
it's just
is this the part of the game, part of the level you're talking about?
no, no, it's not.
No,
Okay.
it's way earlier in the game than this, I think.
Yeah, I want to say it's like 4th or 5th chapter.
That's what
Though
this is.
this right here is a perfect example of it's just all of a sudden this next area that leads into is a combat area when you were in a peaceful part of the game. Momentarily peaceful.
And you were transitioned into it very naturally.
And I remember this part. This part's
I do want to point out something I do
intense
like
as
about
shit.
this: the flashlight on PS4. I don't know how it was on PS3, but PS4, you have to tilt the controller to recharge your battery, to recharge your flashlight.
Yeah, they did that as well in PS3.
Okay.
You had to like shake it a little bit to keep it going.
Yeah,
It was a funny little mechanic.
So,
No, it actually was a brilliant mechanic.
It was
because
awesome.
It would be in the middle of, especially this area that you're going through here, this kind of underground flooded area.
Yeah.
Especially areas with a lot of clickers where it's dark. You're relying solely on that flashlight to get through it, and suddenly it starts to go out, and you're like, oh, fuck, no. It really helped bring me in.
Yeah.
In a way
Yeah.
that most motion controls can't.
Yeah.
Clickers were a great enemy idea. It's just in a game where you have to be stealthy, having an enemy that can't see you but can hear you is always a good mechanic to emphasize the stealth.
And I like how you have to. It takes you, like right now, even in the game, I still can't kill clickers in combat. I have to stealth kill them. You have to upgrade one of your perks with medicine to be able to kill them or fight them off with a shiv.
Even
I can't
still,
really-
if memory serves me right, it's 2 shivs to kill them.
I can't really say because you haven't gotten to it yet, but later in the game, things shift a little bit.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
You'll
yes and
see it
no.
when you get there. No,
Okay.
You'll
yeah,
see
I'll
it when you
I
get
get
there.
there. So I'm loving the game so far up to this point, but I did Google and I did confirm some of these I got 10 fun facts about The Last of Us, which I feel like you guys, some of these I thought were fascinating. And other was like, all right, cool. Neil Druckmann, who I'm guessing created this whole series, or created this game, and now
He was project lead for
Project
Last of
lead?
Us
Yeah.
and for Uncharted, actually.
Neil Druckerman, Druckmann. So Druckmann?
Yeah.
Okay. He wanted to write a comic series instead of doing a game.
There is a comic series for The Last of Us that's tied to it.
So this is just a pause menu. I had to go do something at the moment, so that's why that's there. Believe it or not, this game was supposed to be... The team that worked on this and this game was supposed to be the new Jak and Daxter.
I can believe it. Because
Naughty
we
Dog,
hadn't gone to Jak
Naughty
and
Dog
Daxter
was
yet.
split into 2 teams after Uncharted 2. They tried to retool Jak and Daxter too much and began to start to worry about the game. They were then given the green light to make whatever game, and I quote, whatever game you want.
So it's not that this was Uncharted. They were
This
supposed
this
to,
project was Uncharted.
Jak and Daxter.
Yeah, this project was Jak and Daxter before it got canned because they had to retool they had to retool graphics. They changed everything that was Jak and Daxter, the fundamentals behind it, and it changed it too much to where even the team said we don't want to do this to our game. So
More teams need to do that.
they were literally given the gameplay came from brainstorming.
English is
You
hard.
got the bug.
I got the bug. Brainstorming sessions from Uncharted 2. So that's where the gameplay.
I do remember reading something that like an early concept for the game was Nathan Drake in an apocalyptic setting.
Yeah.
The story was inspired by more than just zombies. It drew from a variety of sources spanning from movies, documentaries, and books. Beyond the obvious Walking Dead influences, a lot was taken from The World Without Us by Alan Wiseman.
Yep.
Other sources included Polio, An American Story by David Oshinsky, Oshinsky,
and probably most heavily The Road.
and City of Thieves by David Benioff. Film influences from The Road and No Country for Old Men.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I thought that was very cool. This was actually the most interesting fact I found throughout everything I was looking for. The original idea was pitched to George Romero.
Oh, I actually did not know that.
Here's the backstory behind it.
That's kinda
Druckmann was told by his college professor to come up with an idea to pitch to George Romero, a personal friend of the professor. The idea was a cop with a heart condition, very Sin City-ish, I believe was the reference, in a Night of the Living Dead world, while protecting a young girl in a very eco-inspired relationship. Unfortunately, Romero passed on the idea, and Druckmann held on to the idea.
That actually sounds familiar now that you're saying it.
I do not remember hearing
I don't
about
remember
that.
the details, but
So,
I remember
yeah, because that was back when he was in college.
yeah, that was back
and
when he
just
was
kept
in
it
college.
until he
kept the idea of the story he wanted, but he originally pitched this idea to George Romero, which I thought was cool because he's responsible for Dawn of the Dead, Night of the Living Dead, stuff like that.
He invented the zombie, basically.
Yeah, he invented the 21st century zombie.
Yeah, I guess that's a fair way of.
I mean, he did do I know Dawn of the Dead was done back in the 1980s, but what the 21st century zombie is, he basically had a hand in. So
Yeah.
I thought that was cool. It was initially horrifically and unintentionally sexist. The main story was the same, but the virus only attacked the Y chromosome. A female employee pointed out the flaw and said it was a bad idea.
You know who that female employee was? Amy Hennig.
Yes, I did see that.
Amy Hennig is just kind of a hero from Naughty Dog. She's a great designer, great developer.
Yes.
I want to see some of those original scripts from when it only attacked the Y chromosome and why they ever thought that was a good idea.
There's a comic series. There's a comic series prequel that influenced the game.
Yep, I read part of that.
That actually, you got that if you pre-ordered the game on
Oh,
PS3.
cool. Then I've got that.
That's where I got it from.
Then I've got the comic book in my closet.
Oh, it was the collector's edition. That's what got it for you.
Oh, okay. The truck push scene was the first to be the scene where they're pushing the truck.
Yeah.
That was the first motion capture scene.
Have you done that part?
Yes.
Oh, that would have been before what we were watching.
Oh yeah, that's
earlier.
early.
That's
right.
pre.
'Cause
Yeah,
you're
that's
in the truck when you get to
that's
Pittsburgh.
pre-Pittsburgh. Because all the hunters are the ones who
Yep.
knock you off. It was redone to include the dialogue about Bill and his partner. Originally, up to this point, it was not. Bill's sexual orientation wasn't even thought about.
Bill wasn't even introduced as a character at this point because that scene was used
No,
as
he's introduced by
promotional.
this. No, he's introduced by this point.
No, I meant in the material. The reason why they didn't have the dialogue in that scene was because that scene was used for promotional material. That was some of the first promotional material released of Last of Us was from that scene.
Okay,
So they didn't want to spoil too much of the story.
So they started including Bill, and then at that point they didn't know what he was going to do. Because until I actually read this article, I thought he was just talking about his partner, as in his sidekick, his buddy. I didn't realize it meant husband, man lover.
I know there's some collectibles you can pick up from his chapter that lead to that conclusion.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and then
but
there's
they don't overtly push it onto you. Which
once you find,
I respect that in a game. Little side tangent. I do not like how much current media is really trying to make sure they always have a gay character or a transsexual character. It just feels too forced and stuff. And I like when people are able to just have the character be there, but not make that the identifying part of the character.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was just, you don't find any of those big collectibles that point to it. I didn't find in most of them until I got to the house where his partner was. So, Tess was originally supposed to be the villain.
Yes.
Yeah.
I do know that one.
After the Ellie's condition is revealed, that's when Tess goes all dark side.
Well,
'cause-
dark side in that she wants to keep
She
her
wants to
from-
kill her.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Sort of, yeah. It's hard because the end of the game is not what you're expecting it to be.
Yeah, that's the thing is
Stop talking about it.
Well,
Damn.
you're the one who keeps bringing stuff up.
You're bringing stuff up that's leading towards it because she's
See,
the villain.
I did not know. As soon as I saw that she was the villain, and then I started reading some other key factors, I stopped reading because I knew I would forget it.
Good.
The fact that you guys keep talking about the end makes me think that Tess being the villain has something to do with what the hell's going to happen in the end.
You need to finish it because
No, it's more complicated than something so simple like that.
I'm going to ask you to stop talking about the end. because you're not saying anything, but you're talking about the end.
I'm trying not to. I'm trying to say we can't go down this road.
So, and the number one, the big fun fact that everybody liked, the prologue scene was actually the toughest day of Troy Baker's career. When they had to record the scene of the prologue, he said that was the toughest day of his career. And I've actually got the article. I didn't want to write the... This is an article that I couldn't transcribe because of the motion behind it. Go to that next one. There it goes. Practically easy persuasive experience of any actor. There it is. Involves the death of a child, obviously isn't a particular easy and pleasurable experience for any actor, never mind that it's repeated and upwards of 8 to 9 takes. But when time came to shoot Sarah's death scene for the prologue, Troy Baker gave it his all, last describing the experience as the second most difficult day in his life. Okay, so second most.
So,
With the first being the event from which he was drawing the emotion necessary to portray his character's grief. However, upon completing the scene, Baker was approached by Neil Druckerman, who requested another take. Baker was understandably confused by Druckmann's request and asked that they had to shoot it again. And asked why they had to shoot it again. To which the creative director responded that he felt a more subdued performance would benefit the scene. What were you going to say, Fred?
I forgot now.
Okay. After a few more takes, Baker achieved the effect that Druckmann was aiming for, and the result is one of the best performances in history of the medium and studying in how underplaying a scene can enhance the impact.
So, I don't know if you knew this. This was a cool fun fact I know because I watched it. The Last of Us was turned into a play shortly after its release.
Really?
Yeah, it was a play acted out entirely by the voice actors.
Really?
They didn't have any other outside actors. It was because of how intense the motion capture was for the game. They already knew the motions. It was already pre-scripted for them. They just had to go through, rememorize the script.
Is that on YouTube or?
I don't know. I know it was a special event deal, and I was watching it through. I think they had a stream of it.
I would love to see that if that's still available somewhere.
Sure.
It's got to be out there somewhere.
Yeah, I'm sure you could find it somewhere. But yeah, it was a play done by the main actors and actresses.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
More things should do that because it's weird, and well, then it wouldn't be weird.
Well, no, the reason why they could do it is because they've put so much emphasis on having the actors do all the motion capture work for the game that it was just like a play. They were already basically doing a play while making the game. All they had to do was translate it to a play.
That's actually a weird detail because I know for voice actors and people who do motion capture, there's a lot of contract stuff behind that. A lot. Because there's like the whole voice actors guild and all the different performer guilds.
Yeah.
And a lot of them will not let you do multiple roles like that because then you're taking someone else's job, quote unquote. It's a lot of weird stuff behind those.
I don't know. I mean, it would have to be in their specific contracts for the project.
Yeah.
I'd imagine.
I'll be curious to see how.
One thing I was going to say, I remembered. It was difficult for him, I imagine. I don't know him, but I imagine it was difficult just because he had to bring that emotion to multiple scenes, or however many
8 or 9 times.
Difficult to do for any actor.
Yeah.
To get the right emotion and bring it out every single time, you have to do that.
Yeah. So the rest of the article, with Baker's measured performance placing a greater emphasis on the mechanical action of assessing Sarah's wounds while building slowly towards the realization that his daughter is dead, Baker later went on to call Druckmann the best director he's ever worked with, commending him for his honesty and expressing his gratitude for helping him grow as an actor. So, with that being said, I'm very curious to see how The Last of Us 2 is going to compare to the first one.
Well, this is why so many people were excited for Last of Us 2. There was such a an attention to detail brought to this game that you don't find anywhere else. I can't compare it to any other game
No,
in that regard.
at all.
I really can't. I mean, the closest I could do is a game that's too old to even compare. Which would be, I mean, Half-Life 2 just had such a good attention to detail, but even then it was back when technology could get nowhere near what they did.
Yeah, you couldn't quite get the performances that you could out of actors now.
Right.
So, I mean, all in all, this is a fantastic game. I really do feel it's definitely worth playing, and I do regret not playing it sooner. And this is one of the this is the reason I like Sony exclusives so much better than Microsoft exclusives. Hands down.
I think it's bold to claim that it's because it's Sony exclusive. This is why I like Naughty Dog.
Yeah, it
so
depends on the
much.
studio, because there's things I love on both ends from multiple studios. I mean, I could easily, while I can't compare it visually in the acting to The Last of Us, I could easily say I enjoyed Sunset Overdrive just as much as The Last of Us for different reasons. But that's also one of my all-time favorite games now after playing it.
You like the big hack and slashers, though.
That's not even a hack and slash game.
No, that's a straight up third person shooter.
Yeah, there's different things that I like from different games, and it depends on the studio. Naughty Dog is, in my opinion, one of the top 5 studios for telling a story and telling it well.
Absolutely.
I don't play their games for anything but the story.
Which is why I thought that was one thing I don't like about Last of Us is the multiplayer.
The multiplayer was pretty cool, but
Well, it was well done, but it felt completely unnecessary. It felt like it shouldn't be there.
I want to concatenate that though with it was a phenomenally good multiplayer. On its own, it would have been a great multiplayer. It didn't hook me because I was hooked by the story.
You keep using phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
You used,
Ba-ba.
you used it 3 times right there.
Well, then go buy me a thesaurus.
Okay.
You got your phone? Google, bitch.
Do you want me to Google stuff or talk?
The multiplayer just didn't feel.
Yeah, I'm not even going to touch the multiplayer on this. I'm not.
It just didn't feel
It's
like
a good multiplayer.
part of. It felt like a separate thing, and yeah, it was great, but it didn't feel like it was part of The Last of Us. It just felt like, it actually just felt like Uncharted multiplayer.
I'd actually compare it to the BioShock 2 multiplayer. Great multiplayer.
That would actually be a great
one
comparison.
of the most fun multiplayers I've ever played. Didn't feel like it belonged.
Yeah, that was a great comparison, actually.
And I still would love to see BioShock multiplayer come back someday. That in just its own separate.
I don't.
No.
Because certain games don't lend well to multiplayer. They managed to make it work with Last of Us. I wouldn't have thought that you could make it work with Last of Us, just given the gameplay.
Give it a different name. Just bring it back. That's all I'm asking. The gameplay was there. Just give it a different name if you have to.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant in the BioShock franchise you want it to come back.
I don't care if it's in the franchise or not. I want that multiplayer back. That was one of the most fun multiplayers I ever had, and I feel it was incredibly underrated.
Okay. Yeah, there are certain franchises I just don't think should have multiplayer. And not for any of the reason, not because it takes away development of the main game, but more thematically, it just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, I get that. I mean, it's hard to explain why a big group of people decides to fight in this area, story-wise.
Yeah, and I think The Last of Us pitted it as a faction versus faction sort of thing.
You are competing for the resources in that area.
Yeah. But that's not how it comes across when you're actually playing the game. And unless you can make the game feel like what you want it to feel like, I don't think it's worth putting in. To that, actually, if you don't mind me side railing this a little bit,
Oh, go ahead.
Battlefield 1 does that perfectly. In a way that I never would have expected from a Battlefield game. So World War I, obviously, is such a terrifying thing. It was
Yes.
one of the worst events in human history. And Battlefield 1 was able to capture that even in its multiplayer. So when you hop into it for the first time, especially if you're not a Battlefield regular, if you play Battlefield religiously all the time, you're just going to hop into it and start doing your Battlefield thing. But if you're not a fanatic in that way, you'll hop into the multiplayer. There's no direction. It's not like you have somebody telling you, okay, now go take this objective. No, it's just there are things on your map and there's bullets whizzing by and you were just suddenly a person in the middle of a war and you're scared shitless. And it's an amazing feeling that can't be captured very easily. And they somehow managed to do it.
See, now you make me want to play Battlefield 1.
No.
It's a fantastic game. Far beyond even just Battlefield. I mean, Battlefield's a great game, great franchise, but Battlefield 1 did it in a way that is unique. I have not seen in first-person shooters before. It made it feel like war.
I don't think you'll like it.
See, I
don't
used to like the Battlefield games. The whole reason I fell out of them is just I got tired of unlocking stuff.
And that's the thing is, after your first couple matches, you'll start to get the hang of things. You'll start to learn it, and then it becomes Battlefield again.
Okay.
But it's that initial boots on the ground moment. You're like, holy shit, what is happening? And you feel like, oh god, I'm getting gunned down.
You can only have once.
Yeah, well, even for your first couple matches, you'll still have it because you're slowly learning. And it works okay if you've got friends who also know because they can help guide you. But it's better if you do it by yourself because you are suddenly that 19-year-old who just got thrown in the middle of a shitstorm and you have no idea why or what's going on.
It's funny you bring that up. That's the issue I have with great story-themed multiplayer games. Battlefield 1, I haven't played. I know it's a great game. I know tons of people love it, but it's not my cup of tea anymore.
Yeah.
Though that experience is one I would love to have, I just wish they could find a way to make that last more than a couple matches. That was what was the issue with Evolve is Evolve was so much fun until you learned how to play. One of my favorite moments from Evolve was just, as the monster, I just stopped, crouched, and everyone thought I was a rock. Because no one knew exactly what to look for. And so I was able to pull off just this great, what would have been like an iconic horror movie moment of just slowly rising up behind them as they went past. But you cannot do that anymore because now everyone knows what to look for.
Yeah, they recognize you.
I wish games could capture those like beginning moments and make them last longer.
I guess I kind of agree with what you're saying, but there's also those are special moments because they don't happen very often. And if they capture that and we're able to recreate it over and over, I think it would dilute the feeling.
Ooh, real quick. I just want to...
Oh,
I just want to talk about this part real quick because I thought this was actually quite ingenious. So
we were watching another Last of Us gameplay here.
So I'm walking around, I'm trying to start up the generator. I keep getting attacked because it's making noise. I'm drawing people to me. So I look around looking for crap. And I don't know what made me decide to do this, but I'm making a bomb.
Super useful.
They're good.
Because I completely forgot up to this point that you could set them down like mines.
Yeah, that's probably one of the most
So
useful
I have
things.
some difficulty at first,
Because
obviously.
you're putting it on a ramp.
Yeah.
Good job.
Well, because I'm used to every other game where you just set something and it doesn't literally fall right where you're looking.
So, is this just because you managed to predict the game?
Well, it's because every time I started pulling it, started yanking the lever, it's because I got attacked.
So you had learned.
I learned, and I like that it's... And I liked these little mini games because, if there were sound, you'd be able to hear it. But right there was an explosion. And I was like, oh, look, there's a dead guy.
Yeah, I mean,
And I'm sitting there waiting for these people to come around the corner.
That's something it does do very well is it teaches you the mechanics fluidly.
Oh, then these fuckers.
So this is... I know this will be kind of weird to talk about, but Skyler and I wanted to do a show for a while where we broke down games.
Yes.
In this way. And actually, this is why I'm really glad that you're playing Last of Us, and I can't wait for you to finish it so we can really get down to breaking it down. We may do an entire podcast just on The Last of Us.
I'd be fine with that, especially with Last of Us 2 coming out.
Yeah.
It's such a great game.
Oh, shit.
So that was one of those moments that we wanted to share in that games do subtle things that most people don't recognize because they're commonplace. Perfect.
Yeah, my
You were
bomb actually
prepared.
never got nuked.
No, see, this is the thing that I love is the bomb that fell down.
Aha,
the
here we go.
is the one.
How to take down the big guy? You Molotov him.
Oh, yeah. They actually... I don't think they explain it here, but... Because the first time you fight them, it's very intense. I want to say right after this, they explain that those guys are weak to fire.
No, I think it's actually just beforehand, but I don't think they give you the tools to do it.
I remember it being after, because...
The first time you fight them, you're in the school gym.
Oh, maybe it is, because I was going to say, I remember getting that knowledge in an area that was more open. And I want to say that I remember being upset that I hadn't had it sooner.
I don't remember.
But yeah, the first time you fight those big guys, and see, it was never really explained to me that they're weak against fire.
But
It might have been a collectible. I don't remember.
Yeah, I think it was, because...
The Last of Us just does such a great job of teaching you the mechanics without a pop-up showing up on screen saying, "Hey, did you know you could do this?" Or like when you die, the little loading screen, "Hey, you can kill those big things with fire."
Yeah, every now and then it'll give me a pop-up like, "Hey, turn your flashlight on with R3."
That's just controls, though. That's reminding you, "Hey, here's how the buttons work."
There's a lot
But it's not
of
the
games.
detailed part of the mechanics that it's teaching you.
There's a lot of games that have mechanics that I have not discovered until that loading screen shows up, for instance. I know, just as a side example, in Bioshock, now this one I'm kind of okay with because experimenting is part of the game, but in Bioshock, there's all kinds of plasmid combinations you can do. So, for instance, especially in Bioshock 2, you can, or Infinite, I mean, you can throw crows at someone and then light the crows on fire and they're flaming crows.
Yeah.
That one explains to you right off the bat. What it doesn't tell you, you can make ice crows. You can make water crows that don't do anything except make people wet, but then when you shock them, it chains between everyone.
Yes.
There's so many combinations they never tell you, and most of them I only discovered because occasionally it would show up in a tooltip saying, use this ability on someone, try this.
But what a great game does, and what The Last of Us does really well, is it gives you enough information for you to start piecing things together yourself. So in that instance, you figure out, okay, I can light the crows on fire. For me, because it's just how I play, I started thinking, I wonder what else I could combine with that. So I would have started testing other things. So it taught me I can combine plasmids to get new effects. The Last of Us taught Steve, when I pull this generator, something's bound to happen. So
Right.
he set up a trap. He planned ahead of time.
Yeah.
And maybe it didn't quite work out as planned, but it eventually worked.
It blew up the one thing running at me, and
One of the things that I loved about The Last of Us is The Last of Us was so great at having two things happen consistently. One, where you plan for something, you have it all perfectly set up, and then one thing fucks it up that you just didn't see coming. It has so many great moments where it just throws a kink in your plans out of left field. The other thing is, there's so many times when you mess up, but then it actually winds up saving your ass later. Like where you accidentally dropped the bomb on the ramp, and so it stopped that initial wave because it fell down in the right spot.
Yeah.
So many times that game happens where you make a mistake, and then it winds up saving your ass.
yeah.
It's such a phenomenal game how they made those moments.
I'm probably
and they
gonna
made them
spend
natural.
I'm probably going to spend a good chunk of the weekend playing this game.
You
Definitely
need to
do.
finish it so that we can talk about parts of the characters that we can't go into.
I think I am convinced we may have to do an entire Last of Us podcast. Probably not next week. It'll
think
probably
we'll-
be the week after or
You
something
think we
like
could
that.
do that as like a special?
We might could get away with a special deal on that. We are running pretty long
Yeah.
this episode, so we're going to have to cut it off.
I
But
would much rather do a strictly sole Last of Us podcast after I finish this.
oh yeah, you need to
Yeah, I
finish
thought
it so
you
we can
finished.
I would
really...
love to do it as a separate side. So we do, our normal weekly, what you've been doing, and then go into a special edition.
We'll figure that
We'll
out.
talk about it, but I'm loving this game. It's phenomenal. I would love for you guys to come over and hang out while I play some, because that was some of my favorite moments from playing the first Bioshock. Was Fred was literally sitting on the couch right next to me, and it made it more enjoyable to
It
have
must be
him
nice
there.
to have friends that come over to your places.
We were living together at the time,
It must be nice.
We
to
were
have
bumping
friends.
butts, so
so I mean, if you guys have any free time at all, I would love for you guys to be able to come over and just hang out while we play.
we'll figure
uh,
we'll figure all that stuff out. But for now, see you next week.
Peace.
Bye.